You're applying to our national community of professional scientists. As part of your application, you'll be completing a competence report. This is the main part of your application and the bit where you get to tell us all about your role in making science happen. The competence report has 5 sections. It is important to assessors that you provide key details. This short guide will help you write a competence report that maximizes your chances of being accepted onto the Science Council first time round. Before we look at the competence report, let's think of some moments in your career that you are especially proud of and write them down. Times when your actions brought a project together, when you turned a problem into a solution, or when you completed a task to a very high standard. Nobody but you will see these notes, so write down whatever you want. Next, let's take each example and think about what skill it highlights. There are no right or wrong answers. You're just untangling your experience into separate skill sets. For example, let's say you improved the way a sample is collected. Which skills did you use? If you had to interact at length with a colleague, then that's an example of interpersonal skills at work. If you had to read up on a theory or technique and then put it into practice, then you're applying your knowledge. If you sourced some new equipment or a new method that would save time or money, then those are process improvement skills which contribute to your professional practice. We want to understand not just what you know, but how your understanding informs your problem solving. It can be helpful to look at verbs as clues. For instance, if we ask you to tell us how you assess and select appropriate scientific techniques, procedures, and methods, the keywords are assess and select. Don't just tell us what technique or procedure you used. Tell us how you decided it was right for the task so we can see your reasoning. The prompts will be slightly different for each register. But if you are asked how you analyze, interpret, or evaluate something, use these as hints when drafting your response. When do you take personal responsibility in the workplace, either for yourself or for others? Maybe you write risk assessments for your laboratory, or perhaps you once saw a recurring issue in a standard practice and shared a better alternative with your colleagues. We want to see that our scientists can demonstrate superior people skills. In this section, you will demonstrate communication between colleagues, peers, and decision makers. This section is about procedures, methods, and resources. Think about times when you have chosen various methods and techniques, and any steps you've taken to improve resources in your workplace. We want to see that you understand your relevant codes of conduct and practice, and can explain why they are necessary and how you adhere to them. Show us how you maintain and enhance your own professional development. How do your examples fit into each of these areas? Some might fit into more than one. If you need to, go back and explore each section again. Once you see which examples demonstrate each competence, you can start writing your report. Let's look at what a good report looks like. Your opening few lines outline the problem or situation, or give an overview of the task you're going to describe. Now, tell us what solutions you proposed, or how you made your task work. As well as what you did, tell us why you did it, and relate it back to the subject heading like knowledge or interpersonal skills. Use I as much as possible to tell us about your personal contribution. Next, write about how you implemented the solution, or how you overcame the problem. To make your answer especially strong, round off by relating this back to your day-to-day job and how it enabled you and your colleagues to do a better job in the long run. Your example may be more or less complex depending on which register you are applying for, but the principle is always the same. This matrix will help give you an idea of the level your competence report should be at. You can either pause here or find the links at the end of the video. A very common mistake to make is to just include your inputs. Outputs are even more important. They show whether your skills are making a difference. Here are some simple examples. Make sure you include outputs in every section. Finally, it's a good idea to ask your mentor or sponsor to check your application before you send it. We have lots of resources to help you complete a brilliant competence report. If you need more help, just email us. Remember, the competence report is just about proving the things you already know. Good luck!